Grimracer here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, or help get you through using SBS 01G or 02G telemetry sensor, the GPS unit for FUTABA systems in model boating or in surface use. I'll be using my 7PX Limited, and let's go ahead and get started with that. Let's do it. So the first thing we're going to do is create a model. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'll back out of this. So here we are on the home screen of the 7PX. We're going to go to menu, model name, and I'm just literally going to delete this old thing, and we're going to call this GPS test. Why don't we do that? All right, so here we go. GPS. Okay, GPS test. I'm going to back out of that. Now, one of the tricks of the 7PX, and I suspect some of the other ones too, if you do what I call a long press, I know that sounds strange, but if you press and hold this center button, it'll go back to the home screen. So you don't have to back up. Press and hold, bam, we're back to the home screen. All right, just makes it faster. Now we're going to link a receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. You can see that I've got a red light here. SBS 01G it has no idea what's going on. We're going to go to the user menu, receiver, and TFHSS, right? So we're all set there. Let's go ahead and link. I've got 20 seconds basically to link the receiver. You can see we've got that done. I'll go ahead and close this. There's my receiver number, 17180 blah, blah, blah. 17180, you get it, okay? So now we're all set to go. The telemetry is on. Telemetry is off, telemetry is on. Super important. My radio's been updated to version or a firmware 6.0, 6.0. So something to keep in mind that I got to go check to see if there's a new firmware. But in any case, so we've created a model, we've linked a receiver. I'm going to go ahead and back out of this. Now we're going to select home screen. I actually have one that's a gauge screen, and I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to menu, and then we're going to go to accessory menu, and here you're going to see home screen, either normal or instrument panel. Normal or instrument. We want the instrument panel. I'm going to back out. You can see there's our instrument panel screen. Now you can change these to do different things. You can see they're all receiver battery voltages, 6.6. You can see my receiver battery, 6.6, is putting out this voltage. What we're going to do is, and I have a particular setup that I like, I'm going to change this one, this lower corner. I like to have that be the throttle. Now you can see it's the throttle, and when I give it throttle, then I can verify that things are operating. Receiver steering, and now this one's the steering. And this one I'm going to set for receiver GPS, and distance, we'll leave that there. Remember, these have to be on. They can't be off. But default, they come on. Center one, that's going to be receiver GPS. I'm going to change distance to speed. So now, receiver battery, throttle position, speed, distance, and steering. Okay? All coincides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this back off now that we've linked everything. And I'm going to go ahead and back out of this. I'm already backed out. The next thing, select the gauges. We've done that. Review sensor list. Now, the 7PX in its default form comes with a list of sensors pre-installed. And part of them, like one of them is the voltage for the receiver. That's called receiver in the list. Let me show you that. We're going to go to the telemetry menu. Let me go back one more time. Menu, telemetry menu, sensor list. Now you can see in the sensor list, number 0 is a receiver. We have 31 slots. The difference between a channel and a slot. The sensors out there, some of them, like the GPS requires 8 slots in succession. So they can't be like 8 slots with broken digits in between them. 8 slots in a row. And default is 8 through 15. All right, so we're going to be using, let's go check, and I'm pretty sure that's what we've got here. But you can see 1 is temperature, RPM, 6 is voltage, and then we're going to go to page 2, GPS. You can see it uses up all 8 through 15. Now that's default, okay? I'm going to go ahead and back out. I just wanted to check to make sure, like if you were working with a model that was already set up and you were messing with that stuff, you can go ahead and clear that back out and then reinitiate that by doing either a factory reset to get to the factory defaults, or by doing let me think, a reload. If you did a reload without anything turned on, it would go ahead and zero those out. So you wouldn't see the temperature sensor thing. The receiver voltage would always stay. The rest of them would be zeroed out. And then you could go in and plug your GPS sensor into the side of the radio and register that. And then it would say, oh, there I am. I'm going to set you up in 8 through 15. Well, you can actually use it in a few different locations, but that gives you a general idea. Anyway, default sets you up through 8 through 15. Now I'm going to back out of this. So now you can see we're at our home screen. We checked our sensor list. Let me do that again. Checked our sensor list and we found that GPS is 8 through 15, exactly what we want. Now the last part of this, and probably the part that's causing the most amount of confusion, is you can't do this by the side of your garage. You can't do this by holding it out the window of your house. You can't do this by doing it in your automobile. You have to take this GPS, SBS, O1G or O2G and put it in the middle of your yard when you're doing this. If the GPS units can't triangulate your location and it can't pick up that, it's not going to work. And FUTABA states that this process can take several minutes. I've had that situation happen. I've had GPS sensor lock in 3 or 4 minutes. So let's go ahead and let's get that done. Here we go. Hang on. All right, everybody. Here we are, the Grimracer Casa. We are literally pond side doing this process. Yeah, I know you can't run a boat in it, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and turn on 7PX Limited. Let's do that. Let's power him up. And you can see that everything's set to go here. We've went ahead and we've got GPS test. We've got our screen the way we want it. We've got everything set up. Here's our board. I'm literally going to take this out in the middle of my backyard. Here we go. I'm going to put it right here, right on the ground. Remember, 7PX is on over here. We're going to go ahead and turn this on. You can see GPS is searching for satellites right now. Okay, so that's cool. Let's come back over to here and hang out pond side with the 7PX. Hang on. I am going to go to user menu. Menu, telemetry, GPS. You can see here it's giving me distance and speed. This is the menu screen so that I can review this stuff. Now we turn this on, probably I'd have to get a timer probably somewhere around 30 seconds ago. So it can actually, when they say it can take several minutes, it can. And again, you cannot have this equipment. I mean, this won't work if I just set it outside my back door. This will not work if you put it alongside the garage door. If it can't triangulate the satellites up there, this isn't going to work. You wouldn't want the satellite directly overhead. You'd have no accuracy. So it takes satellites far apart, or a distance apart, several of them in some cases, to give you an accurate reading. So in the meantime, we'll hang out, we'll wait to see if we get a lock. My guess is we will, but this could take some time. And in the past it has. Now, no worries. When you, this first initiation, yeah, can be tricky. That can take some time. If you get it out to the pond and you want to go ahead and get that set up, and you've had this initiated at home, everything's set up to go, you're down to the pond and you want to run your boat at this screen that I'm at now, you can go ahead and you can, for instance, it doesn't matter which one of these it is, setting, you can preset reference, and that'd be this button here. So if you click that, it would go ahead and say, oh, I'm over here now. Before, you set me up over here in the backyard at home. I'm 200 miles away now, or I'm down at the local pond. And what I want to do is I want to reset the reference, right? So what you'd do is you'd press that button and it'd go, oh, I'm here now. Now this is only after we acquire a lock. So here we are. It's probably been a couple minutes by now. We'll just hang out for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and set this down right here. Don't fall in the water, please. And we'll hang out and keep an eye on it. The power of this system is pretty amazing. You can actually set alarms. You can have a voice record back. You can do it by speaker in the unit or an earphone. So you can come back and you can have it record or report back to you in intervals, whatever you choose. The mile an hour, the voltage, or whatever. You can turn the voice on and off, and you can select those at an interval. It's really pretty cool. And then it'll actually record peak speed. They've been having some issues with that. I can't remember if I've got this set up. Usually when I'm using this, I'll put it in this mode, in this GPS mode, so that I can review and see speed, distance. And what I typically do is I'll set my distance up for 109 yards, which is about 100 meters. 110 yards is 100. Anyway, I like that so that I know if I've went past that 100 meter and how it performed. FUTABA states their receivers and their systems are good for 100 meters. Of course, we know that it's to be more than that, but we like to have that. So we still haven't acquired a lock yet. Let's hang out. Again, this can take several minutes this first time. So we are going to wait. So hang on and let's see what happens. Remember, those sensor slots were preset 8 through 15. And that's by default. If you wanted to, you could register that sensor to a different set of slots, as long as it'll always set it up 8 in a row. It has to be 8, 16, or 28. No, 24. I can't remember. Anyway, but it has to be 8 in a row. Still don't have a lock. There we go. So what did that take? That took about 4 minutes, I would say. Anyway, yeah, you can literally see we have a lat and long, latitude and longitude. Stop it. And we've got our distance in yards and our mile an hour. Now, we are at 0 mile an hour, and if you press this, you can reset that yardage. You can see as this decreases, we can reset that to the latest. Now, the thing that I was talking about before was settings, reset reference 1 yard. Let's go back, and you can set that. So if you were pond side and you were in the pit area, you could set that, reset that reference to the pit area. Then you'd know how far out you were from, you could even do it as you're launching the boat. Not easily, but you could. Anyway, there it is. Now it's operating. And again, if you go pond side, if you don't reset the reference, actually it'll do it in time, but you can force a reference reset by pushing reference reset at the pond side, and then it'll say, okay, I'm here now, instead of your backyard. Again, it will get there eventually, but you can force that quickly. So here we are. That is my location. If you want to look it up, you'll see the Grimracer Casa at these latitude and longitude coordinates. Cool. Anyway, I hope this helps. If it did, like and subscribe to the Trophy Hunter videos. We're going to continue to get you guys fast, utilize all the power that FUTABA offers with these systems, because man, there is nothing better. This system is, in my opinion, and I've been racing, I don't know, 35 years, 7PX is the best radio system I have ever used, period, for surface applications. And I've used a lot of them. And I've got nothing bad to say about my old Aerotronics days. I mean, Bobby, Tom, the gang, they fantastic. But this radio is the best thing I've ever used. Anyway, for now, that's it for Grimracer Trophy Series. Again, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Grimracer Trophy Series, so long for now.